Hey everybody, it's your girl Angie. Welcome back to Kiss My Cheeks TV. Let's jump right into Big Brother. This was eviction night last night. Luke, you want to be on camera? You done jumped up here. The dog, he running now. He running now. He jumped up on the couch and then I'm sorry. Let's get into Big Brother. I had a whole bunch to say, but then I got nosy on the live feeds and my whole attitude has changed. Like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Number one, the episode was kind of boring until it was time to vote people out, because that's when the hot shit got talked, and that's what I'm here for. And pretty much everything that led up to the eviction I already discussed in my previous video from the live feeds. I already said that Ian and Kevin are woke. They showed it on the show. I don't believe everyone is talking about the head of this octopus. The head of the snake, the head of the octopus, whatever. I like the octopus because that's what it is. It's a center and it's a whole bunch of subsidiaries. Like I said, the telephone group and the subsidiaries. I feel like the wall yeller did a disservice. I feel like the wall yeller, it probably was Angela. You know, Tyler's girlfriend Angela probably was yelling over the wall to protect her man, because that's all that it did. Everyone is talking about Franz and Cody, Franz and Cody, Franz and Cody. And no one is thinking about Tyler. Where Franz isn't in all of the alliances. Cody and Tyler are in all of the alliances with the subsidiaries around them. So if I was Cody, I would be frazzled. I say franzled. I'm cracking myself up. Y'all probably like, girl. I said, if I was Cody, I would be franzled too, because he the one getting called out, and everyone is looking at Cody like he's the mastermind when Tyler is right there. Like, Nicole is being dragged along for fun. It's gonna get her far. I got some strategy talk. So for whatever reason, Tyler is going to Bay and Day asking, you know, Danny said something about me because she said something about you. So he's throwing Danny under the bus. And I feel like the outcome of what's happening on the live feeds now is because of what Bay and Day said. Like, no, Danny ain't said nothing to me about you. And he was like, oh, well, she said you next. And so now Bay and Day are up on Danny. The three guys, Enzo, Cody, and Tyler, get together. At some point prior, I told y'all Cody told Enzo about the committee. Is that the name of it? I call it the telephone group. The telephone group sound better than the committee. Whatever. So Enzo face is pressed like, y'all had a 6 and I wasn't in it. That's what his face was saying. But in the confessional, he was like, oh, it's cool. Everybody, I got 3 alliances too. Everybody got alliances. It's okay. Enzo was pressed about that. Enzo wants to be down with a brigade. That was his team, right? The brigade, an all boys alliance, so bad. Enzo wants to be down so bad that he can't see that who was Enzo. I said Enzo is what, T-Mobile. He can't see that he T-Mobile. He's not a part of AT&T. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be sad, but I don't know how to say this, so I think I'm going to keep it to myself. Let's move on. They showed the little scene of Danny planting her seeds. But what about Memphis? Like, why is it Enzo, like, it's us 3? Why he ain't pull Memphis in there, too? I don't know. Everybody on the live feed said Enzo, not Enzo, but Memphis hurt his back. But I ain't see it. So, I don't know. Let's get to the damn eviction, because that's where it get good. Christmas. up here reading Christmas poetry. I said, girl, you sound a damn fool. That's a no ma'am. That was a no ma'am. You should have kept that shit to yourself. You embarrassed yourself on, is it live? Anyway, on national TV. You should have just sat there and said, vote with your heart. I love everybody. You know, typical stuff. But the little Christmas poem was a miss. You just was looking a fool. And I'm like, what? I was really looking at her like, what? What is she saying? Like, no ma'am. Kaysar talked all the hot shit I was ready for. This was the best 30 seconds of TV all week. Outside of the little bit with Bailey and Danny at the Have-Nots. This was the best 30 seconds of TV all week. So Kaysar was like, because, you know, Ian, earlier in the episode, Ian was like, I don't want to blow my game up. But Kaysar going home anyway, let him light the house on fire. And I was here for it. All the way up to his eviction speech, the whole time the show was going on, all I was like, Kaysar, blow it up. Come on, Kaysar, do it for me. Do it for me. You know, I was just hoping the whole time. So when he did it, oh, I was yelling at the TV. It was like, it wasn't like the Super Bowl, but it was like football. I like to watch football. It was like a game. I was like, yes. Oh, yes. I was on Twitter. I was on fire. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you don't. It's the same as my channel, @KissMyCheeksTV. Okay, but anyway, Kaysar was like, y'all gameplay and strategy suck. Fingers was snapping. My fingers was snapping. I was ready for it. He was like, y'all all think y'all a part of these alliances and all these subsidiaries, but let me tell you who AT&T is. Cody and friends is AT&T, and they just gonna pick y'all off. I was like, yes. But in the back of my mind, I was like, don't forget about Tyler. Like, you ain't gonna say nothing about Tyler. But anyway, and then he looked at Enzo and was like, and I know about the guys alliance too. Yeah, Enzo, I knew that shit when I looked at you. You ain't even have to say nothing. I already knew. And it's Cody, Tyler, and David is in that too. So it's a guys alliance. Fingers was going off. I was going off. And so then he was like, and then outside of all the guys alliance, it's a little menage a trois going on. He didn't say menage a trois. He said love triangle. But he was like, yeah, Cody is all up in the bedroom with friends and Danny. And so they going to be the ones to cut y'all necks off, the menage a trois. And I was just like, oh. And he said, so if y'all ready to play All-Stars, vote for me to stay. But if y'all don't want to play no All-Stars, y'all go ahead and have y'all little college reunion right here. And I said, oh. I was going off. I said, yes, check these boring ass bitches. Cause it's boring. Y'all could have sat up, got y'all, you know, after the pandemic, whatever. But people in Vegas anyway, y'all could have met in Vegas, had a little family reunion, brought your kids, play a little bit of dice, a little bit of blackjack, and if that's what y'all wanted to do. But this, I'm with Kaysar. This is All-Stars. Don't nobody want to take no shots. Don't nobody even want to just make good TV. Hell, they already paid you $40,000. Anyway, so at the end of it all, before he sits down, he said, and Cody, I hope I have your vote. I fell out my chair. I said, oh, that was some slick, hot talk. He done dragged Cody all the way up underneath the bus, all the soot, mud, dirt, everything all on Cody's face. And then he was like, I hope y'all got your vote. I hope you got your vote, Cody. I was hollering. It was the best. The best. I said, Cody is gonna be friends with all week. He gonna go in the diary room and cry. He don't know what to do. So now a few people want to talk some hot shit in a eviction, you know, speeches on the live TV when they with Julie. I ain't mad at it. Kaysar talked his shit. You come talk your shit. Make me some good TV. So here come Cody in his emotions. Mr. Pre-Jury himself can go home. Kaysar, you can go home. And that right there, I was like, that's where y'all some dummies. Everybody that they want to target are the people who you could probably easily beat in the game. Like they said, Kaysar is Mr. Pre-Jury. He ain't never made it to jury, but you scared of him. Next on your hit list is Bay. Did Bay make it to jury? If she did, she was the first one there. And we know Davon was the first one on her jury. So, whatever. So, Danny is pissed. Pissed. She ain't like being a little menage a trois. So, she was like, he was so disrespectful, so tasteless. I said, no, bitch. You disrespectful and tasteless. Ever since the moment I saw you, I ain't hear about it, I saw you say Bailey stole that jacket from Janelle. That was disrespectful and that was tasteless. So it's a forever F you, Danny, a forever one. And so then Day goes in there and she was like, Julie girl, like Davon was getting her life and I was getting my life right with Davon. I'm like, yes, Day. Kaysar went off. That's what I've been waiting for. And so, you know, it was some good stuff. That was just some good TV. We sad to see Kaysar go, but at least he went with a bang. At least he went out giving us good television. Like, honestly, y'all, I'm going to jump a little bit. If Bailey goes home this week, I might, and I never say this. I never, ever say this. It don't matter how trash Big Brother has been in the past. I always watch it because I love it. But if Bailey goes home this week, I might not watch no more. Because I don't know. It's not going to be exciting. Like, literally, we've been saying this week after week after this. It's going to be Janelle, Kaysar, Bay. It was supposed to be Day, then Bay, then Ian, then Kevin, and then a free-for-all. I don't want to see that. Like, I should not be able to every week, at the beginning of the week, as soon as I know the HOH, I should not be able to pinpoint exactly who's going home and just have to sit down and wait for 30 seconds of hot shit just to see that person go home. Like, because that's all they've been giving. That's all they've been giving all stars. A little bit of hot shit, just a little bit. Like Nicole Franzel gave a little bit at the have-not ceremony. And then next week ain't even going to be no have-nots. And I was just waiting for Davon to give it back to Danny. Oh, I was waiting. But let's move on. So, Kaysar comes out. He tells Julie, because Julie like, why you blow up the house like that? He was like, shit, we was bored. It was boring in there. I had to do something. And I said, yes, Kaysar, do a little bit of something. And then Julie asked him something else. And this is where I love Kaysar so much. He said, I'm sorry, production. But for me, I wasn't here for the money. I was here for the message. And I said, yes. Because Julie let him know we aired every conversation you had, we aired it. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Big Brother, because Big Brother is, oh my God, the dog. Big Brother is a huge platform. It is highly watched by a lot of people who are not my shade. It just is. A lot of white people love Big Brother. I love it too. I think any race could watch it. But I said this to say a lot of conversations that Davon and Kaysar had needed to be had on this national platform. So people who maybe have not experienced different religions, who just don't know anything about Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, a lot of the police brutality, they brought it to light. So a mass amount of non-melanated people could at least hear the conversation. Now, if they go one step beyond and have the conversation, the dog is, he's over here, I guess he itching and he has to scratch the couch right where I'm sitting. But if they take it a step beyond and actually have the conversation, that's all Kaysar and Davon want you to do, is to have the conversation. But if they don't, at least they heard it. At least they heard it. Okay. Luke, stop. Gosh, go sit over there. So next, Julie is like, that's why the audience, they love you. That's why they voted you back in 15 years ago. Julie had me too, because Kaysar was like, what? And I was like, we did, Julie. I ain't vote. I ain't even hear about the voting. I would have voted. Julie, you got me too. It was the pause for me, Julie. It was the pause. You should have continued that sentence. You ain't need to catch your breath right there. And Kaysar tried to play it off like, yeah, I wouldn't even go back in the house. Kaysar would have been back in that house like that. I know it. He know it, but you tried. But Julie, that was funny. Okay, let's get over to this HOH competition, because the HOH competition, if it didn't do nothing else, Davon. And side note, number one, Bailey and Davon was rocking them yellow dresses. Oh, they were serving in red. They were sitting. And they didn't have on red. What they had on? Yellow. They were sitting. Yellow is a great color for them. That yellow was banging. I love a good yellow dress too, but sometimes my skin is too yellow. So yellow can wash me out at times. Like if I wear yellow, it has to be like a burnt orange. I done got all my colors. Y'all know what I mean, like a mustard, a dark yellow. But they was where I can't do like the neons and all that because it kind of washes me out. But they looked good in that yellow. But back to the HOH. Davon had to get up and sit down, get up and sit down, get up and sit down so many times. If your eyes wasn't open, they should be now. Like the HOH told so much. So Ian and Kevin had to go first on the random draw. And Kevin won, and he's up there looking franzled, like, oh my God, what should I do? Who do I pick to go next? I don't know what to do. And I'm like, bitch, you've been talking to Ian, Bay, all week about Cody and friends. Kaysar just blew up the house. You had an easy pick. Cody friends. You had a menage a trois up there. You heard about the All Guys Alliance with David and Enzo, and you don't know what to do. I was just... Kevin, you just got high regards from me after that POV episode, and then you over here crying and whining again. I don't know what to do. Who do I pick? I guess I'll get Nicole and Cody. I guess you guys can go. You had pissed me off again, Kevin. You about to go back to the bottom of my list. So then Cody puts Kevin and Day back up there, and I'm like, see, if you don't see Day, he could have picked somebody else. You supposed to be in the Slick Six. Why didn't he put Kevin and David up there? Why didn't he put Friends and Kevin up there? If y'all all in the Slicks together. You and Bay have been banking on y'all Slicks. I understand what you're saying, Kaysar, but I'm in the Six. You don't know what's going on. I'm in the Six Slicks. I'm in the Six Slicks. And you see what your Slicks did? Put your ass right up. Every time he sat down, Bay, Day, get your asses up there. Every time. And so I ain't gonna go down the whole list. The one person that threw me was Memphis. Now they've been sending Davon's ass up there every time. But Memphis, it's his turn. He has this evil, jokerish look, like I can't even do the look. Like it was just like an evil stare at David, like David and Danny. And I'm like, I don't understand what like did David talk about your mama week 1 and apologize and you just can't get over it? Like, I don't know why he hates David so much. And he's just fixated on David. David can't win the game, and he has to clearly understand that David can't win the game. But David is his #1 target. Or is it a evil genius mastermind? Like, if I pretend like David is my #1 target, no one will be worried about me because I ain't talking about them. I don't think Memphis is that smart, but moving on. At the end of the day, you see, ain't nobody picked Tyler to go up there until it was nobody else to pick. Like, it wasn't anybody else for, I think, Davon to pick. Who went up? No, Memphis. I mean, he could have picked Tyler and Christmas, but he picked... Christmas didn't go up in there until they didn't have another choice, and Tyler didn't go up in there until it was no more choices. So that's the head of your snake. That's your octopus head. Anyway, Christmas win the damn thing. Not Bailey. I'm gonna get them confused. Day was so close to winning. Like, it was heartbreaking to see Davon lose that. And I'm like, When she said orange, it was clearly more like the whole damn screen was orange. Girl, you should, and you hit, I understand you was a little bit frazzled too. You've been up there 20 times and you probably was guessing the whole time anyway. I don't know, girl. But, oh, it was just so hard to see Davon lose that. I really was pulling for Day. After that, Julie told us about this basement competition. I think I turned my TV off. And Twitter told me the basement competition is competitions done in the dark. And 3 people will win and get special powers. I know who ain't gonna win it. I know who is... Let me talk correct for a second. I know who's not going to win a competition in the dark. The person who is only on the show because they lost a competition in the dark. Anyway, I ain't too excited to see that. As soon as I saw Christmas was HOH, the first thing I said was, there goes Black Girl Magic. Sorry for him. And I was prepared for Davon to go home. And everybody on my Twitter like, no girl, that's what Tyler and them wanted. Tyler wanted somebody outside of the Slicks to win so they could go after Danny. I said, Christmas ain't going after Danny. And it was like, yeah, girl, you know, Enzo and Tyler, they want Danny gone, so they gonna convince Christmas to put up Danny. So I'm like, okay. I went to sleep on that, you know. All right, I put my little bit of faith in Tyler and Enzo, and now guess what? I wake up and guess who's the house target for the week? I don't know what Bailey did. I don't know what, but they said Tyler has flipped. Did he really flip, or did Tyler really flip and be like, Bailey is now the target? Or is this always what we said was going to happen anyway? I said it. I said it in my pre-game when I knew who the cast was going to be video. I said, Bae, don't trust Tyler. Tyler ain't had your back in the original season, and he ain't going to have your back now. And that's what the word on the curb is. On the Twitter streets, people Twitter fingers, they said Bailey is the target and Tyler has flipped and he wants Bailey gone. I want to see why. I don't, like, what was all this talk about Danny just to even flip it off a Day? Because at first it was supposed to be Day was supposed to be gone this week. And now you flipped it all the way over to Bae. I think they're getting rid of the people that don't need the money. Because clearly Janelle and Kaysar, they balling. We know Swaggy and Bailey is balling. So maybe they kicking out the people who balling and like, let us at least fight for the $500. You know who need the money is Friends begging people to pay this $3,000 so she can get married out in the Turks and Caicos, wherever she going. Girl, let me get off of this thing before I just start reading. I got to see more. I got to see more live feeds. I got to see the actual nominations. I don't think the actual nominations have occurred yet, so Twitter could be wrong. Maybe there's a back door for Danny. I doubt it. I doubt it. But one thing, if Tyler did flip on Bae and Day, all Tyler just did was put the nail in his own coffin, because he has told everyone in the alliance that he's coming for Danny. He's told Bae and Day that Danny was talking shit. So if they get any kind of inkling that Tyler isn't trying to save him, oh, they just gonna run to Danny and be like, oh, Tyler was talking shit. So this week, I don't know how Tyler gonna play this off. Like, he probably gonna do what he did his season, like, Bailey, I'm sorry, no, you can't save it, and Bailey gonna cut her mouth open going off. I hope she don't do that, but then again, I hope she do. Read his ass, because you ain't got nothing to lose, Bailey. You going home to your fabulous husband. Y'all got fabulous coins. And you have a fabulous life. And I'm sure you're going to go, you're not going to be on 36, but I'm sure you'll shoe in for 37 of the challenge. So Read his ass. All right, let me go. Like, comment, share, all that good stuff, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.